Okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning for my lecture, Elly, Kholidah, and all my dear friends. So, introduce myself. My name is Tiffany Hanifah Supriyanti with number 5054, majoring psychology. So, first of all, I would like to say thank you for this opportunity for me presenting the article scientific review talk about the mediating role of self-compassion in the relationship between childhood trauma and the symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. With authors is Mutahar Garshuroki, Azadeh Chuforosade, Azra Muhammad Ardakan. This topic is very interesting because it's relevant in our era from now on. It's discussed about how body dysmorphic disorder happen in us and how self-compassion as a role mediating to the relationship between childhood trauma and the symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. So I'll just start it from now on. Okay, so the first slide is introduction. What's the introduction of this article? So the studies emphasizes the importance of young people's well-being, highlighting the physiological challenge they face, such as childhood maltreatment, which can lead to disorder like body dysmorphic disorder, or we call it BDD, and other psychological issues that affect mental health and quality of life. It also notes the influence of cultural norms and societal expectations, particularly among Iranian female students, where traditionally gender roles and familial expectations shape body image perception. So I would explain what's the body dysmorphic disorder is. So body dysmorphic disorder, or we call BDD, defined as a severe chronic and debilitating mental disorder characterized by a persistent and pathological preoccupation with imagined perceived defects in physical appearance or weight. So, what's the research question for this scientific article? So, does self-compassion mediate the relationship between childhood trauma and BDD symptoms? This such the higher level of childhood trauma are associated with lower self-compassion, which in turn leads to increased BDD symptoms. So the methods. The methods of this study employed a cross-sectional design involving female participation aged 60 until 24 from Mayburn and Ardakan during the 2023 until 2024 academic year. A convenience sample of 300 participants was selected, adhering to recommendation for some research. Data collection involved questionnaires and prior to analysis, assumptions such as univariate and multivariate normality were assessed, with the absence of multivariate outliers confirmed. Structural equation modeling, or SEM, was used to examine the mediating role of self-compassion between childhood trauma and PDD symptoms, with items below a factor loading of 0.3 removed to improve model fit. So, okay, for the next slide, it's result. What the result of this scientific article review? So the results indicated that childhood trauma was associated with lower levels of self-compassion, and self-compassion was significantly and negatively related to BDD symptoms. Specifically, a history of childhood trauma was indirectly linked to BDD symptoms through the mediating role of reduced self-compassion. So, the discussion from this topic is the overall discussion highlighted that childhood trauma is significantly associated with increased body dissatisfaction and BDD symptoms among young women, with self-compassion serving as a key mediating factor in this relationship. The findings suggest that higher level of childhood trauma lead to reduced self-compassion, which in turn contributes to greater body image concern and BDD symptoms. The study emphasizes the importance of early identification of childhood trauma and intervention aimed at enhancing self-compassion to potentially prevent or reduce body dissatisfaction and related physical pathologies. Additionally, cultural influences such as societal norms and media pressures play a role in shaping body image perception, especially among Iranian women, further complicating this relationship. The results align with previous research indicating that positive facets of self-compassion are linked to lower body appearance concerns and the negative self-evaluation increased vulnerability to BDD and related disorders. Overall, the study underscores the need for therapeutic strategies that foster self-compassion to mitigate the adverse effects of childhood trauma on body image and mental health. So here for the reference I was used from Shiroki MK Chuforosateh Ardaka. So for the conclusion of this topic is the study highlights the important role of a self-compassion as a mediating factor in the relationship between childhood trauma and symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. It shows that individuals who are able to treat themselves with kindness and understanding it shows that individuals who are able to treat themselves with kindness and understanding tend to have a better psychological resilience, even when they have experienced difficult situations in the past. Therefore, the study suggests that developing self-compassion can be an effective approach in supporting mental health, especially in reducing the negative impact of trauma. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for all the attention for my dear lecturer, Elly Kholidah, and my dear friend. I would be happy to receive any question, feedback, or suggestion from my dear friends and the lecturer. That's for all. Thank you very much for the attention. See you for the next. Bye bye.